Hello and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined with other host,
Karen.
And this episode, we are talking about three bands we've already seen before,
Yes.
and I think we've already done episodes on each one of these bands.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So we're talking about the Mudvayne, Static-X and Vended show, which is part of the Mudvayne LD50 25th anniversary tour that they just went on. Or they're still on as of this recording.
Yeah, I think we saw the third show of the tour.
I think it was the third show. They started it in Des Moines, then I think they went to Dubuque, Iowa, and then they went to Chicago.
Really?
Yeah, I think they started in Des Moines.
That's interesting to go do like two Iowa shows.
It's the central Iowa and then it's the western.
Yeah, but then come to Chicago?
And then go to Milwaukee.
Yeah, because Milwaukee is tonight as we're recording.
As we're recording this, yeah. So that's like, I don't know, that's typically not what happens. Like if it's in Milwaukee, it's not going to be in Chicago or vice versa. Yeah. So I'm kind of shocked that it's in Milwaukee, honestly. Same with Dubuque and then Des Moines. Like that's pretty close, I guess. Yeah.
So looking at the back of your shirt is actually Dubuque and then Waukee, but Des Moines. Waukee's
I was going to pull it up and
right
their website, but yeah,
Waukee's,
just sure has it.
Yeah, Waukee's right outside of Des Moines.
Yeah, I guess I
can. A suburb. Yeah.
I don't know Des Moines that well.
I know. I don't know where the roads separate.
Altoona, Des Moines, and Waukee are all sort of Des Moines to me.
Yeah.
Even though they're not. I know they're
Urbandale, West Des Moines.
I guess.
Johnston. They're all different cities technically, but
we're from there.
Yeah.
Somewhat originally. But I don't understand all of that. Just like the burbs here in Chicago, I don't understand any of that shit by any means.
But I guess that's against how I hate when people say that they're from Chicago when they're from the burbs. But
I guess
in Des Moines, everything around Des Moines is just Des Moines.
Yeah. And I mean, I was originally from like proper Des Moines, First Street, Euclid and whatnot there. But yeah, that's a different conversation for sure. But yeah, anyway, as we said, this was the third show on September 14th, which was a Sunday here in Chicago at the Aragon Ballroom. The ticket prices for this, just going over our numbers, were $29.25 with $14.58 in fees and $2.93 in tax. So fee rate of damn near 50%. Yeah. This was part of like the BOGO deal they had on that they eventually put on. Like when these went on sale originally, there weren't like the BOGO. It was like you just buy it. But eventually they did add like the buy one, get one.
Oh, did we get this as part of the buy one, get one?
We did get this as a buy one, get one offer.
So the fee is probably per ticket, original ticket price, and then they...
I bet so. Yeah. So when they reduce the price, they're not going to reduce...
Like Live Nation's not missing out on their fees.
Fuck no, they aren't.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a show we wanted to go to, and then like when they announced the BOGO, we're like, all right, fine, we'll finally go to it. And we didn't buy tickets initially, so...
Yeah, we just bought tickets like a couple weeks ago, if I remember right.
It wasn't that far back, no, yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, we don't have anything that night, let's buy tickets, so... And I don't know why we didn't buy tickets originally.
We were going to, we didn't assume it would sell out, or if it did, the tickets would be on sale for a while, and we're just going to buy it when it gets closer.
Okay.
And...
So it's been on our list.
It's been on the list and just something we haven't bought tickets, and which is something we're doing more of this year, is not buying them when they first go on sale, which, is a hit and miss. There's shows later in the year like Acid Bath at the Salt Shed that I completely overlooked and didn't think about, but that sold out. So like, unless we buy secondary tickets, we're not going to that show. So, I mean, it's been hit and miss, but for the most part, it's worked out for us waiting. Yeah.
But talking about the tickets still being on sale, Aragon, we've talked about this. We have a 666. I don't know if it's posted yet about like the capacity of venues and stuff. I don't think it's posted yet.
I think it's actually an episode that
it's a full episode?
It's a full episode we haven't edited yet and recorded. Okay. Or we've recorded. We just haven't edited and posted.
So it'll come out eventually. Maybe before this episode.
Maybe.
Who knows? But anyways, so we've talked on that episode, or we've talked about this a lot in the past, about how Aragon is one of the venues where if it's a sold out show, it's a little miserable to be at.
Yeah, like sold out it should have been sold out to 300 people before they actually listed it as sold out.
Yeah, like they sell every aspect of the upstairs, like the hallway, the area by the bars, everywhere. It's just kind of uncomfortable. So this night, knowing that they were in Des Moines and knowing they were in Milwaukee, or going to be in Milwaukee after this show, I was going in thinking it's going to be a comfortable show. It's not going to be sold out because people can go to those other cities.
Yeah, you talking about this beforehand, you did mention Des Moines, and part of me was like, that's a far fucking drive for people to go to Chicago to see this show.
People do it though. Well, this show, yes, but people do.
But I mean, in general, like, I don't know. To me, that seemed like a long drive, especially on like a Sunday night. So I wasn't like, I know what you were talking about, but when like Milwaukee for sure is like, all right, this makes sense why it wouldn't necessarily sell out. I am curious to see how the rave is going to look. With
for tonight.
The crowd size.
Yeah.
But sorry, not to interrupt you.
No.
You were going down a point, I think.
Yeah. So basically, I was going into it thinking it's not sold out. It's going to be comfortable. It'll be enjoyable, that sort of thing. Spoiler, at the end of the night, I really felt that way. I was like, this is a comfortable show to be at and to be able to get in and out of the crowd as you please. Like we ended up doing.
Yeah, for Vended, and I think only Vended and part of Static-X.
Yeah, half of Static-X. And I wanted to go back up front, and you kind of just wanted to stay back.
Yeah, we were up on stage right, pretty close to the stage. And it wasn't too bad. Like, the pit was next to us. People were jostling around for the pit, but it was a solid, pretty good crowd to be in. Like, I enjoy being in those crowds. My foot was hurting a little bit. I just sort of wasn't in the mood as well to be there, or not necessarily to be there, just like in the
middle of the crowd.
In the middle of the crowd, like I just wasn't in the mood for music that night for some weird reason. I don't know why.
That's interesting.
I was just sort of in an off sort of mood.
Oh, interesting. I was totally opposite. I was like, I'm happy we're finally at a show like this and not at.
It's been a while since we've been in a crowd at like a true like metal show. The last few, I mean, System of a Down was, but we weren't in the crowd.
We weren't. No, we were in the stands, and then.
We Come as Romans, that was at the House of Blues, and that was really shitty.
Yeah.
And what was the one before that?
Well, we went to Billy Idol. That was kind of
sure. And the Nine Inch Nails before that, we were in the
Black
seats.
Keys, we were in the seats.
Linkin Park, we were in the seats.
Yeah. It's just been a weird summer. Like we've been doing a lot of
Ghost, we were in the seats. The last one we were probably at where we were in the crowd was Milwaukee for Hatebreed.
Oh yeah.
So that was the end of July. This was beginning of
Slaughter.
September. So we've gone like 2 months without being in a proper crowd that we enjoy being in.
Well, after the burial, we were in a crowd. We were on the floor for a while.
Yeah.
For after the burial, and then we left because I was having foot issues that night and I couldn't.
But we were also at the House of Blues, and we hate the House of Blues, so
we might be done going there.
We might be. Anywho, getting back to this.
I didn't know that all was happening. So when we like left to go downstairs, you took some pictures of the merch.
Yep.
And then we went back upstairs and we just kind of hung out mid-back,
closer to the back for sure. Very, very close to the back for the rest of Static-X. And that's where we ended up just sort of hanging out, which was basically just to the right of the soundstage on stage left.
Yeah.
The crew was unloading some of the sound gear in between sets and going like right in front of us and whatnot. So that's about where we were. If you know the venue, know where that's at. It's just sort of right there, 3/4 of the way back, I'd say. Anywho, I guess I don't know what I was saying other than the crowd was a pretty decent size.
Yeah.
When we were back there for Mudvayne, I do remember looking around, looking behind me and being like, this is definitely not sold out. And I would feel comfortable if they sold maybe another 200-300 tickets. And I think it would still feel very comfortable in there.
Yeah.
The problem
can get in
is
and out as you need to and stuff like that.
The problem is, if you think about that, there's probably another 500 to 600 tickets they would have sold if they could have.
I would say 500, yeah, at least, yeah.
But I think another 200 to 300 would be a good, comfortable, for me personally, to fit in that space without having to go and stand around that perimeter area. There still were people standing around that perimeter, sort of in the archways, which if that's where you want to be, that's cool.
Yeah.
But the problem is once you get, more than, even more people in here, some places that's the only place you can stand because there's not room to unless you want to fight your way.
Yeah.
And even then it's not comfortable, right? So
for us, it's not. Yes.
Yeah. And it's something we've talked about a lot, especially with this venue. And because it's Live Nation, it just feels like they oversell it so much.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of where I was going with that whole comment.
No,
I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about how you ended it. It's just, it was a comfortable night to see a show. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it's been a long time since we've had a comfortable show at the Aragon.
Yeah.
Probably actually this show, the Till Lindemann show.
Till wasn't bad. The Baby Metal wasn't horrible either. I mean, we made it on the floor.
Yeah, we were on the floor.
We didn't leave the floor, so.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
So that was a decent show there as well. But there's been a lot of shows where it definitely feels oversold for sure.
Yeah.
This was also our first time going up early, and for you anyway, checking out some of the restaurants around the area. I don't know if we want to talk about that at all, just because it is something we did.
Sure. I mean, we've done that before. We've went up early and we've gotten pizza or McDonald's or
and
something.
For Till, we went to the Green Mill for the first time, which is an awesome place. But this time we went to Fat Cat, which is right on the other corner. And I thought it was kind of cool because a bunch of metalheads going to the show where they're all getting food as well.
Yeah.
Because you could tell by the shirts. And you even heard people walking around being like, oh, yep, they're going to the show. Oh, yep, here's where all the pre-parties at or something like that. So I don't know. It was just kind of cool to see everyone out and about and sort of enjoying the neighborhood and not waiting in line to like get in right away.
Yeah.
The line wasn't as bad as either because it wasn't sold out.
Yeah.
We've been there where the line is horrible. When we finally got in there, we got in, like 15 minutes before Vended went on?
Yeah. And then we got merch.
Got our
went
merch and went upstairs.
Like maybe 5 minutes before, yeah.
So really not that bad.
No.
But yeah, no, that's just a cool little place to go check out if you're going up there to see a show. Fat Cat was really good beer. Cool spot. They have really good French fries. I'm a big French fry person if they're good.
Yeah.
Across the street's that cheap ass pizza that's also really good.
Yeah. I think that's like Rosati's or something. I think it's like mall pizza kind of, but
it's like $6 you get a pizza and a soda or some shit like that.
It's so cheap. Yeah.
We go there. We've been there multiple times when we go to Aragon. Also, this was the first time that they have the new L Stop open right there as well.
Lawrence. For us, I've gone to a show there. I mean, it's been open for 2 months now.
Yeah.
But the Lawrence stop is open, so it's half a block away from the door. So I mean, it's really nice to get there now instead of walking. I mean, Wilson or Argyle is not that far.
It's really not, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit
better.
This
is especially leaving the venue and just hopping right there on the L.
It was so nice just to like leave and then you walk a half a block and you go up the stairs and you're right there. So yeah. If it's ever raining or snowy, it'll be even more perfect.
Yes. And they're still doing some development around there as well. It sounds like they're going to build this little community type area right below the L.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be shops or anything or just like a little park thing, but I don't know. The area is going to expand and become more and more. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's going to expand and there's going to be a lot more shit here down the road, I think.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff right there anyways with the venues and everything like that. But
even more, I think. So
just some updated stuff.
That's a better way to say it. More updated stuff. Anywho, sorry for the tangent. I always do that, but let's get back into the show, I guess.
Okay.
The Vended show. I guess it's the Mudvayne show. Vended was the first opener. We've seen them a number of times. Second time this year.
Yeah.
Why don't you read off their set list for us?
Do you know what they started with now? Because they started differently than they have in the past, which was a surprise to us. We kind of like...
Yeah, so the intro was Phil Collins' I Don't Care Anymore. And then they got into their normal set list. And... it started somewhat the same where it was like the car radio, or not like, I always assume it's a car radio, but it's just the radio sound of like tuning in and out into music. So that's how it started. It started with that little static sound.
I didn't hear the tuning part that we've heard before.
It was there briefly. Okay. And then what they've done in the past is they play a song for a little bit and they switch it up and go to another one and then like do that 2 or 3 times. And I think they would always end on Sweet Dreams. Was what they would be the last one before going into their set. This time it was just a little quick tuning into Phil Collins, and then it was right into the set.
Okay.
So they didn't do do it 2 or 3 times. It was just that first initial sort of radio static sound.
Yeah, now I feel bad that I missed that tuning part because I just thought it was opening music and then they came on. So now I kind of wish I could see it again to hear that tuning part.
I'm 99% sure it was there, and I heard it and it's like, oh yes, it's going to start. And it was just a quick like, and then into the music.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
But yeah, then they went into their set list, which was...
So Vended played Nihilism, Dead to Me, Am I the Only One, The Far Side, Pitiful, and they ended with Asylum. Very standard.
So much so that this is the exact same set they played the first time we saw them this year.
So I know that they always play like they always play like all these songs. I just never know like what order. They always end on Asylum.
They always end on Asylum, which I love Asylum. We've talked about this in the past. I love that drum bit at the intro with like on the rim, just like I love that so much. But yeah, very standard in terms of it's the exact same set list they played when we saw them last time they were in town just a few months ago with While She Sleeps in Bury Tomorrow at Bottom Lounge.
Yeah, at Bottom Lounge. I was trying to think of when we saw them before. Yeah, it was at Bottom Lounge.
And there were maybe 50 people in that room at most.
You saw somebody with like one of the shirts from that tour or from that show, and you were like, oh, she was one of the 50 people who were there.
So the shirt I'm wearing now, I got from this last show at Mudvayne, a Vended shirt. I don't know why I already have like 4 Vended shirts from every time we've seen them.
And they're similar.
Very, very similar. This one's a little different, but also exactly the same as all the other ones.
That's what I'm saying, similar.
Yeah. But it does say 2020-25.
2020-25?
On the back, it does say 2025 tour. At least I saw that on the wall. I'm like, hey, look, another Vended 2025 North America tour shirt. And you pointed out that, well, on the back of this one, it says fall, where the other one, it does. I don't know what it says on the other one, honestly.
Yeah.
I can't remember. But yeah, she was in line. It's like, oh, because it was the first one, the spring tour, whatever the fuck it was. I'm like, oh, she was at that show too. She was one of the other 49 people there.
And I made the comment she could have came from a different city.
She could have, yes.
Who knows?
But that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
A lot more people in the room tonight for this performance, which was really cool.
It is great to see for opening bands.
People were getting much more into it this time around than they were at the Bottom Lounge show. I don't know if they knew the music a little better or they were just more amped for the particular music.
Maybe.
I don't know.
This music has more, Barry Tomorrow is pretty good too, but like more energy to their music.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I think people were just ready for the energy from 7 o'clock until it ended. Like they were just ready to go. So
it was going good. It was, I don't know. It was a good crowd, good energy for sure. I did hear some chatter around us of, oh, that's Slipknot's son up there, or Corey Taylor's son up there. So I don't know. I think they're always going to have that, not necessarily stigma around them, but there's always going to be that like little comment somewhere in the crowd, I think.
Yeah, probably.
We talked about that, especially on that first show we did with them, the Bloodywood show when we first saw them. You know what? I loved them ever since. They do sound a lot like Slipknot. Don't get me wrong, they do. Griffin has so many tendencies that match his father so well, like this carbon copy of Corey Taylor on stage, basically. Same sort of, stage presence and stage banter and whatnot. But you know what? In my mind, Corey Taylor's one of the best frontmen. So like if you're going to copy someone, that's someone you want to copy and mimic. So you know what? I don't fault them there. And I don't know. The music's good. It really is good. I really like their performance. I like their stage presence. Everybody, like, there's so much shit on the stage when they're on there, like equipment wise, like amps and all of that shit. But everybody in the band is moving. They're going side to side, playing to everyone in the crowd.
Yeah.
And
they have a good stage presence.
Yeah, I love that. They're not just sort of standing in their spot playing their instrument. It's, I'm going to sit here for a little bit and then I'm going to go over here and work the crowd over here a little bit. Yeah. So I fucking love seeing Vended. They put on a great show, even though it's the same show we've seen already. I'm
glad that they changed it up a little bit with the beginning music, because otherwise, for every single time, like what we probably saw them 5 or 6 times before that, and every single show started the same.
Yep.
And it was kind of getting to the point of like, okay, you need to switch it up a little bit, in my opinion.
For us, for seeing them 6 or 7 times,
Because I mean, that was just my opinion about it. Is like. And I think I said that when we saw them with Barry Tomorrow, I was like, I'm ready for them to switch it up.
Yeah.
So they didn't switch up their set list, which their catalog's a little smaller, so it kind of makes sense. But at least they switched up the starting a little bit. Maybe next year they switch up what they wear or, something like that. So
I'm trying to think back. The first time we saw them, I felt like the intro bit wasn't that long. I felt like it was just sort of one quick tune and then straight into Sweet Dreams Are Made of These. And then after we saw them like at Milwaukee Metal Fest or something, then they added like 1 or 2 more little clips in there. And then this one, I think, went back down to that one. I can't remember if that's how it actually worked or not.
I feel like I remember it always being like where they start with music and then it's like kind of like a radio changing and then another song and then a little bit more radio changing and then they come out.
Yeah, I can't.
That's how I remember it.
I'm just trying to remember the very first time and I can't remember. You know what? We may have talked about it on that first podcast we did with them on Bloodywood if we ever go back and listen to that.
It's a car episode because we're driving back from St. Louis because we ended up seeing Bloodywood in Chicago and then we drove to St. Louis and saw them the very next day.
Illinois. It was Sauget. We drove to St. Louis.
Yeah, we drove to St. Louis. It was in Sauget, Illinois, yes. But so and then we were driving back and that's when we recorded that episode.
But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. It'd be cool to see the set switch it up a little bit. When we did see them as an opener, there was a lot more time for them to add other songs. So they got to play as a headliner. Set. Yeah, as a headliner.
Yeah, you said opener.
Oh, shit, I meant headliner. Sorry.
Yeah, we've only seen them as a headliner once.
Right, at Beat Kitchen, which was really cool.
Yep.
I agree. I want them to get more material out there. Hopefully they can come out with some new music, not necessarily shortly. It took them a while to get that first album out, like 4 years or something like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
They're probably on the track of most new bands now, where it's going to be singles more than albums.
Oh yeah.
So
well, especially they're touring a lot. Like you
they
can't
are
really
touring a lot. Yeah,
work on an album when you're touring all the time. So
they're on the road a lot, which is good for them.
They did Europe too this year, right?
Did they really?
Or was that last year that they did Europe?
Okay, I don't know.
I can't remember now that I think about it, but yeah, they've done a lot.
Good for them. I mean, I'll see them every time they come through town for sure. Even if it's the same 5 songs I've already seen 4 or 5 times. So I don't know. Always good to see them. It was a good performance. Crowd was fucking awesome. So yeah, always good to see them. Then we get into Static-X, another band we have seen 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years.
Has it been 3 or 4 times in the last 2 years? I've only seen them 3 times total.
Including this night?
2019, yeah.
So this would be the 4th.
No, this is the 3rd time. Yeah, the first time we saw them when they did like the little reunion after.
Oh, shit. I always thought that was post-COVID.
No, it was 2019.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
In any case, let's get into their set as well.
So they played Bled for Days, Wisconsin Death Trip, Fix, Terminator Oscillator, Sweat of the Bud, Love Dump, I Am, The Trance is the Motion, Black and White, Get to the Gone, Dirt House, Cold, I'm With Stupid, and they ended with Push It.
So for some reason, I always remember this as being sort of a co-headlining tour with Mudvayne and Static-X, because Mudvayne was doing their 25th anniversary of LD50, and for some reason I thought it was also Static-X celebrating 25 years of Wisconsin Death Trip. And they are celebrating 25 years of Wisconsin Death Trip. This just wasn't promoted necessarily as a headlining tour or co-headlining. I don't think, anyway. The few little articles I just looked up didn't seem like that. It does seem like Static-X did go on tour earlier. They do their own little tour as well. But I mean, they got 14 tracks to play for this, which is nearly the same as Mudvayne did, skipping ahead a little bit. But like basically the same set time. So, I mean, it kind of was sort of a co-headlining show for sure.
So Static-X didn't do a show last year for 25 years?
So that's what I'm trying to think. I guess last year would have been 25 years, wouldn't it have been?
Yeah.
So maybe that's where I'm getting fucked up. Because I did see them.
You saw them last year?
I did see them last year here at the Radius.
Yeah, when I was in Ireland.
When you were flying to Ireland, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Technically, I was still in Chicago. My flight got canceled that night.
Yep.
So, but yeah. So maybe that was the 25-year anniversary.
Maybe that's where I'm getting it all fucked up in my head.
Like just getting. We do see a lot of shows, so it's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah,
everything.
and getting the announcements, jumbled in my head as well. But for some reason, I thought this was going into this. I thought it was a co-headlining tour.
Yeah,
but it wasn't. But at the same time, Static-X did get a pretty decent.
They played for an hour,
set,
so
for sure.
Yeah. I mean, playing for an hour is pretty good for a second band. Because normally it's like 45 minutes. So
yeah, I mean, going back real quick to Vended, I completely forgot about this. It was like the 3rd song, going into the 3rd song of their set. Griffin comes out and he's like, I just want to say this one time real quick before we take off for the night. Oh. Thank you so much for being out here with us. I was like, holy shit, you guys are playing 3 fucking songs and you're done. They ended up playing the 5 songs or whatnot. Yeah. But I was like, the way he phrased that was like, holy shit, they're done. And then that would definitely make time and room for Static-X to have a longer set.
An hour and a half set. Yeah.
But they did get a longer set as well.
Yeah. That's funny because going back to Vended, when Griffin said the whole like, I want to thank you, because he says it the same way every single time, and Corey Taylor says it almost exactly the same way also for Slipknot shows. But anyways, I always wanted to kind of like look, and I feel like that's always after the 3rd song.
Oh, okay, maybe.
So now I feel like I thought about that on Sunday night. I didn't say anything, but I'm always like, it's they play, and then he does that. So in my mind, it's like, okay, we're gonna play half hour set, take a little break so people can get water, like do whatever, and then they'll play the second half of their set.
That is my one sort of criticism with Vended for sure, and their sets is there are moments in between songs where they're retuning their guitars and Griffin's getting a drink, and it's just like dead silence. It feels way too long to me. Yeah. I wish they would tighten that up a little bit, but
it's hard when you're a young band that doesn't. Well, I think they do have a crew though, because like when we saw them at Rockfest, they had a crew helping them.
That might have been different. They were loading their own shit off the stage.
They were. Yeah, they were. Yeah.
So
maybe it is a little different for Rockfest versus this.
And then you have 1 guitar instead of 2 if you're like tuning up and down and whatnot. That way you don't have to go off stage, and it's less to travel around with you, throw in the back of a van or whatever their arrangements are.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Static-X.
Yeah, we're going to come back to Static-X. I guess, so going into the show, we were leaving that restaurant we were talking about earlier, And on the way, we met a guy wearing a Back to the Beginning shirt. So we're talking to him a little bit.
And I pointed out because it's the, what's that called? Like the graphic, not graphic.
It's the alternate poster, like the show poster shirt.
Sorry. A lithograph poster right? Is it lithograph?
I think it's a screen frame. I don't know what the...
Oh, okay, sorry.
Those are just different ways to do the posters.
It was a shirt that was not available online to purchase. It was only from the show. So I just assumed he went to the show. Turns out his friend bought it for him, who did go to the show. He did watch it online. And but his friend did go to Birmingham and saw the show. So he brought him back a shirt.
And also while talking to him, he was just saying like he's going to go wander around the neighborhood a little bit. I can't remember if he's from Chicago or not, but whatever. He's going to wander.
He didn't say. He noticed your tattoo. And he's like, oh, you're from Chicago.
Right.
So I don't know. I don't know if he was going to say like he's from Chicago or whatever.
Yeah, but he's wandering around the neighborhood a little bit, maybe trying to get food or something. I can't remember exactly. But we're talking to him and he's like, yeah, I'm not really the biggest Static-X fan. I never have been. They never really did anything for me back in the day. So I don't think I'm going to catch their set. I'm going to wait to go in for Mudvayne. We've talked about that a lot, about people, not going, like you paid for the whole ticket, might as well go for the whole show.
That's our opinion, yeah.
Why are you leaving early? That kind of stuff. So, I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, but still, you should just go check it out. You paid the whole, unless you paid the 2-for-1 ticket.
But
to
still,
get in.
You're still paying the money.
Yeah, his buddies were already in there in the venue and whatnot, so he's just sort of wandering around, hanging out by himself. So, I don't know, it's cool. I kind of agree with him, though. Static-X, I like Static-X, don't get me wrong. I have for years. We have a few of their CDs that I had back in high school, and I liked them back then, but it was like, I like them, but I don't, like, love them a lot. Or maybe I see, here's the issue, I think, maybe. I don't know what the issue is. But we've seen them a lot in the last few years. Maybe it's just sort of, I've seen them enough and all their shows are basically the same that I don't necessarily need to see them again live. That show doesn't do that much for me.
Oh, okay.
Unlike a Lamb of God type show or an Amon Amarth. Like I could see those shows over and over and over and not feel like, I've already saw it. I don't need to see it again. This one, I'm kind of like I've already seen it. I'm good type of feeling. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I love Static-X shows. I think they're fun. I mean, every single song sounds the same. That's one thing I have to say about Static-X. In my opinion, they sound the same. But they have the energy and the beat and everything like that, and it's really, really fun.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm a little opposite where, yes, we've seen the show multiple times, but I find them fun. So I enjoy going and seeing it and stuff like that. Is the show the same? Pretty much, yes. There's a couple things that are different sometimes. Like they might have a different character that comes out or something like that. Like when I say character, it's like...
Yeah, they have this dude in like this giant ass costume on stilts or some stuff.
Yeah, like it started really cool with the background is like a moonlit night or whatever. And it was like a pumpkin head coming out. And it said, I don't remember what the speech was.
A disco ball pumpkin head.
It was a disco ball pumpkin head.
And it was because it was going into spooky disco or... weird. It was some sort of disco. Like that was what went into it. It was XX disco. Or something. Like I don't remember what the XX was. Yeah. It was some sort of like disco type thing.
I honestly don't remember anything that the whole
spiel was.
The spiel was. But like at the end, the head spins around and it's creepy, or like a.
It goes from like
spooky,
a smile to more of like a frown or an evil face type thing.
Evil face, like a spooky evil face. And I thought that was really cool. I don't know. There's just parts of it that I think are cool. The energy, I love the energy of Static. It always takes me back to 2019 when we saw them. And like the energy in the crowd for that entire night was just crazy, crazy. It was at House of Blues. So we were on the floor and just the entire crowd was moving sort of thing. It just always takes me back there. So it was a lot of fun.
Maybe. All right. So This is interesting because for me, musically, I like Static-X music probably more than I do 3 Days Grace. I like it's just more metal. It's more upbeat. Like I agree with you. The energy is there with the music. If I want high energy, I'm going to go for Static-X over 3 Days Grace. And 3 Days Grace show is the exact same every fucking time. You know exactly what song they're going to go into. You know what the spiel's going to be because their banter is the exact same. Like, you know what? We kept climbing that mountain and we're going to make it to the top. And they go into the mountain. So, but I enjoy those shows, that show, more than I do the Static-X show for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe the characters coming out to me are kind of gimmicky. And I'm like, this is this is stupid. I don't like this.
See, and the first time we saw them, I don't remember the characters
I don't either.
We saw I said this wrong. It's not the monsters. It's the machine.
Yes. So Machine Killer Tour or something like that.
Yeah, like 3 years ago, and I feel like they just kept them from that. Now, we never saw them with Wayne or like prior to Wayne passing away or anything like that. So I don't know what their shows were like back then, but
yeah,
I do like Zero's mask that he wears and the red eyes and everything.
I don't think I like that. I don't like the Zero mask.
I do.
I don't. For some reason, I don't like it. I don't know why.
Oh, I think it's good when like all the lights go down and all you see is the red dots. I don't know.
It's kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. He's fucking tall as shit too.
And thin, very thin, very skinny.
Like everybody else is on these risers, and he's just at the same level as them, like walking on the ground. I don't know if he's got like stilts
maybe he has risers on or something. Yeah, or like, who knows?
Thick platform ass shoes or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
It's just funny that you like. It's okay to have different opinions. Yeah. I just figured for Static-X we would have opposite opinions. Like I wouldn't be that into him. You would be into whatever. Not that into him, but for the show, like I feel like it would be opposite.
Okay.
But I absolutely love the shows, so it makes me happy every time we go see one.
Yeah, and I don't know why that is the case, because that first time we saw them, apparently in 2019, whenever they did the tribute to Wayne with Zero.
Yeah.
That was my first time seeing them live. And if you asked me, around that time or before, like Static-X was one of those bands, especially in high school, that I would have loved to have seen and never actually got the opportunity to see them. So when that tour finally came around, I was like, fuck yeah, I get to see Static-X for the first time. And I don't know what it is, but yeah, for some reason, it's just sort of like, I've seen this show. I've seen it already. It's a good show. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. I just also don't enjoy it. Okay. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a weird feeling for me.
It's fine. I mean, I feel like you're trying to justify why you don't like it. But.
I am, because I shouldn't not like it. But maybe I was just, again, I already said I was sort of in an off mood this night. Yeah. Because honestly, I didn't really enjoy the Mudvayne set either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know why I didn't.
I did. I mean, do you want to talk about Mudvayne now?
Anything else for Static-X before jumping right in there?
No, I think the pit was crazy during Static-X. Not crazy. That's the wrong way to put it. But I loved how it just kept changing. And mainly because people were like pushing in, or like at one point there was the big pit open and then a smaller pit opened, and then it's like they kind of combined together. I don't know. I just thought it was fun to watch the evolving of how the pit was.
The pit did evolve. Yeah, it definitely like got bigger. And there was one part where a bit of a section opened in front of the pit. So then the pit sort of moved in there and became this sort of oblong snowman type shape or something. And then that bit closed in and the pit came, like it was a ever moving blob that was getting bigger and smaller and adjusting. That is cool too. I completely forgot about that. And you don't necessarily see that often. Typically when, especially at the shows we've been going to lately, a pit opens and that diameter stays there. It doesn't close in. It doesn't adjust. This one was sort of ebbing and flowing with the crowd, which to me is the right way a pit should operate, is like it expands and it contracts and it moves. And like, I don't know. I love those kind of pits too. But I guess nothing else really for me either. Good Static-X show, but also not really something I was into for some reason. Getting into Mudvayne then. Let's start with their set.
So their intro music was Monolith, and then they started with Dig, Internal Primates Forever, -1, Severed, Death Blooms. Then they had a break with Golden Ratio. Or then they came back and played Cradle, Under My Skin, Prod, Nothing to Gain. Then there was another break with Recumbent, Resurgence. And then they came back and played Hurt People, which is a new song.
Yeah, and if you don't know the lyrics to that, it's Hurt People.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over.
Yeah. Doll Boy, World So Cold, Determined, Not Falling, and they ended with Happy.
Back when I first discovered Mudvayne, it was definitely with Dig. Like that music video was all over the place.
Yeah.
That song was all over the place, especially that was around the time I was starting to get into metal music and discovering metal music as well.
When did that come out? Like 99, 2000? I feel like it was on MTV all the time or something.
25 years ago, because it is the 25th anniversary tour.
2000, yeah. But yeah, I just feel like it was always on. I wasn't allowed to watch MTV unless I was at my aunt's house, but I remember that music video was always on.
I was watching the VMAs all the time as well, and the movie awards or MVAs, whatever the two MTV awards were back in the day. I remember watching those. and Mudvayne was up for an award. I don't know if they won it. Maybe they did. I don't know. But they showed up on like the red carpet with their makeup and everything on.
Oh, did they really? That's cool.
And then the next album came out and I expected that same kind of shit. And they had like nothing on their face, like nothing. I was like, what the fuck is this stuff? But Dig was out. I fucking loved Dig. I ended up buying that CD somewhere up here behind us and listening to it. And I kind of sort of remember not being all that into it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like the CD as a whole?
Yeah, the CD as a whole.
No, I don't know their catalog very well. Like how much of this was from the LD50 album?
A good chunk of it was. They did sprinkle some other stuff in there. And I remember talking to you going into this, like, I hope they do other things than just the LD50.
Yeah.
Because I do remember, like I said, back in the day, listening to this album and just like not being the biggest fan of it. But the majority of the set was definitely the LD50. And then it was Hurt People, sort of the start of like the greatest hits type stuff afterwards.
Okay.
So they didn't do the Slipknot thing of just play the one album and then nothing else.
Yeah.
They did what I think is a proper way to do it of play the album and then do your greatest hits as well.
Okay. So looking at now that you pulled up Spotify and like our playlist that you have them all listed out, this is my comment about most of the songs where there was a lot of slower songs. I don't know, not really slower, but just more like they had very slow bits, and then now you would call it like the drop, which I don't know if really 25 years ago it would really be like the drop, but it's like it starts off slower and then it goes more melodic.
So yeah, it's that, but also to me it was a little progressive-esque where they're changing up rhythms, they're changing up, like it was kind of funky and kind of jazzy a little bit in the parts with like the bass bits, and like there's a lot of different elements that especially back when I was in high school, I wasn't really fond of, and I didn't like that shit. But the slower stuff I did like back then too, so I don't know why I didn't like the slower stuff, because you're absolutely right. There were parts in here that were very slower for sure, and I should have liked that back in the day, but it was like in the middle of tracks. We went from like really hard to slow, but I liked that back then. I don't know why this album never resonated with me back in high school as much. I think if I gave it another re-listen, and I really need to do it, maybe I'll do that tomorrow when I'm working. Through. Yeah, I think I would enjoy this much more now today as my musical tastes have changed than they did back then for sure.
Yeah, we just saw Mudvayne last year.
Yeah, it was last year. Was it last year? Right before Milwaukee Metal Fest. They were at the rave.
Oh, right. So we went on Wednesday. Yeah, or Thursday. I think they were like Thursday or Wednesday. They must have been Wednesday.
Wednesday, because the pre-party was Thursday. Yeah.
So, but I just remember the energy of that show was crazy high. And then this show, that's where I was going to transition into that, where I just felt like this show, it was more somber, or like, not somber, that's the wrong way to put it, but just like slower paced.
We were also back further. We weren't in the crowd for this show. In the rave, we were definitely like in the middle of the crowd. We were like on the edge of the pit all night for that show.
Yeah. I don't think that would have made a difference, in my opinion, about how the songs were portrayed.
Yeah, but I also think Chad's sort of banter with the crowd sort of, not necessarily was a downer, but definitely it didn't even bring the energy down. It was just, it did make it a little more somber for me, at least.
Oh yeah, from that aspect, yes.
Yeah, because I didn't know this going into it, but Greg Tibbett, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Greg Tribbett. Sorry about that. He wasn't on the tour with the band because unfortunately he lost his wife to cancer like just a few days before this. So Chad comes out. Did we not talk about this? We haven't talked about this. No. Oh. I didn't know this was a thing.
I read the article and I thought I brought it up to you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I thought we talked about it. Maybe I just talked about it in my head.
Maybe. I don't remember hearing about this.
I thought I remember telling you like, oh, he's not going to be on the tour because his wife died.
I don't remember that. You may have, and I just sort of in one ear out the other, because that happens.
You're like, Karen was talking, so.
You seem to talk when I'm doing stuff or not paying attention to you. Yeah. You don't give me a chance
Maybe we didn't have this conversation.
Pay attention.
And it was all about...
Maybe not
me in my own head, but
yeah, but I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that had happened. It's fucking horrible. And the fact that the band still went on stage and still performed, and Chad comes out and is like, Greg wanted us to do this. He wanted, he wouldn't want us to stop. He were here for you as the fan to celebrate this album that was a huge part of our lives, and we're here to celebrate that. And life fucking sucks, death fucking sucks, but you got to move on a little bit, and you got to reach out to those who you love, your community, your tribe, for support and help. And you know what? You guys are that for me, and I needed the win, and I got the win tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think it was good to show what the metal community can do and the energy that a metal show could have and what it can do for mental health and just escaping granted, Chad and the band are performing the music, which could be therapeutic in a way as well, but like for people listening as well, it's, the escapism that some of us need.
Yeah.
So.
And he brought that up as well. Like, you come here to forget about life, forget about the problems for just a couple of fucking hours.
It was kind of funny when he said school. I'm like, none of us are school age. And then I'm like, looking around, I'm like, there's a lot of school age kids here.
there's a lot of kids who are out on a school night.
I mean, it was 17 plus show, so there wasn't like the little kids, but there's what we call kids now. Right. We're old.
So, I mean,
I get when I was talking about the somberness or the slowness, I was just meaning the cadence of the songs. And I just felt like there was a lot more slower songs. I would have to look at the set list from what we saw in Milwaukee versus this set list to kind of compare, or, like maybe listen to them both all the way through, one back to back and to see if I still have the same thought process. But I just felt like there was a lot more slower bits than I remember from the Milwaukee show.
And the albums definitely, not the albums, the songs definitely felt that way. Which again, most of these songs are probably, like, as we said, most of these songs are off of that LD50 album and not sort of a sprinkling of all their other albums like that show at Milwaukee would have been. So to me, not necessarily slower necessarily, definitely more jazzy, definitely more progressive-esque aspects to the songs and to the album. It sounds like I need to give it another listen, like I said already, because I think I'd really, really enjoy it now. But back in the day, like, I wanted, Slipknot just getting kicked in the face constantly, Lamb of God just getting kicked in the face constantly, Chimera, like, that's the kind of shit I was like really wanting, and not this sort of jazzy instrumental type bullshit that you're putting in the middle of these songs.
Because like Dig doesn't really have that.
It doesn't.
I'm trying to think of what else from that album. I think that's the only song from that album that I.
Negative One they always play at their shows.
I'm sure that I've heard other ones, but that's the only one that I can like really dig out. I'm using the word dig. I'm really like getting out of my brain. I can't say dig. Mm-hmm. I'm digging it out of my brain.
And for some reason, for me, Prod is that very progressive, jazzy sort of song that I remember. I need to go back and listen to that one for sure. But yeah, I did think it was really weird that you come out and you start with Dig. Yeah. I was like, this is the biggest song off that album. One of your biggest songs ever. It's kind of weird you're starting your set with this. I
love that they started it with Dig.
It's how the album starts.
Oh, is it? Is that the first song?
So then like you're going to follow the album order and just do this in order, which I've already talked about. I hate when they do that. I don't know this album, honestly, that well because I listened to it a couple times in high school and I haven't really revisited it other than Dig.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They mixed up the ordering of the songs. So again, I don't know why they did that, but at the same time, it was kind of cool to start with Dig, their big song off that album.
Yeah.
The first track after Monolith on that album as well. So I don't know. But we did get sort of a greatest hits sort of section of the set, starting with Hurt People, Hurt People.
Yeah. Had you listened to it before going?
I had not. They just released it like a couple days before the tour started,
It's been out for a week or two.
It's not that old.
Yeah, it's not that old. No. But I was going to listen to it when it was released, and then I was like, no, do you know what? I want to listen to it live. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure they'll probably play it. So,
for sure, yeah.
Yeah, like I wasn't sure how the whole concert would go, but I was like, I kind of want to hear it live first. And kind of glad I waited. I don't know. I mean, I don't have positive thoughts on it, I guess. It's the same word, or, it's just hurt people over and over. I know there's other lyrics.
There are other lyrics,
but that's all I got from it.
That's all I got too. Is hurt people, hurt people, hurt people, hurt people, and then there was maybe the chorus part was like the verse part, right?
Yeah.
Where that bit was sort of, or maybe not. Maybe the verse was the verse, and then the chorus is just more like almost all of the song, and the chorus is just hurt people, hurt people, hurt people, hurt people. So it's a interesting like. That phrase, I've heard it before, and like it's not a lie, like hurt people, but I'm in the same boat. I wasn't a fan of the song.
Yeah, I So going from Static-X, where a lot of their, I mean, push it is just push it, and then and same with like Terminator Oscillator. It's just Terminator Oscillator, like multiple times. Like I know that there's other words to it, but like it's almost similar to that, where it's just like you're saying the same word over and over, which could bring energy in a live setting because you know it's easy to catch on to, and you know people can get bring the energy or whatever. So I just wasn't blown away by it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying. I was not blown away by it either. It was one of those songs like I'm cool. Yeah. We got to hear it. Maybe come out with a new album and then don't put this on, or when you do the next tour, don't play this song.
Yeah, we'll see.
Like, I'm sure they'll play. I wasn't a fan of the song, honestly. So I don't know, but Not Falling, Happy, World So Cold, Determined. I was a fan of those.
Yeah.
Those are like
the songs that we know.
And those two albums that those songs come off of, Lost and Found and The End of All Things to Come, I was definitely into more than I was, LD50. Honestly, I couldn't have, if you told me before seeing them last year what LD50 was, I wouldn't have been able to tell you it was.
Oh, like that was the name of the album.
That album that Dig came off of. But if you showed me the cover, I'd tell you, oh, Dig's on that album. I wouldn't tell you the name of it, but like that's how much I didn't really give that shit. Like I didn't care that much about that album. Yeah. And again, I think I'd really enjoy it if I listened to it today.
Probably.
So tomorrow when I'm working, I'm gonna listen to that. Yeah. But yeah, those other two albums in particular had more impact on me from a Mudvayne perspective than LD50 did.
Yeah,
I get why they're celebrating LD50. It was a huge album for them. It launched them, because it made me find them. So I don't know. It was still fun to see the songs and hear the songs. And again, like I had said already, I wasn't in the best mood for some reason that night. Yeah. So I don't know. And you would think that metal and like a concert would help bring me around to it, but for some reason I wasn't vibing with it for some reason.
Oh well.
Maybe because it has been like 2 fucking months since seeing a show like this.
A show like this, which I'm happy we got back into a show. Now we have some pretty cool shows coming up in the next couple weeks. So when I say pretty cool, things we're into, I should say. And I think that helps. And this summer was just more going to a lot of shows where it's like, oh, these big shows are coming, so let's go to them sort of thing. Where now it's back into like music we actually listen. Well, we listen to the music as well, but like actually enjoy going to the shows for.
Yeah, that's a good point, because this summer, especially, I don't know, this year in general has been like the year of big shows in terms of what we've seen, and especially what's come through Chicago. I mean, think of AC/DC's been here, System of a Down, Black Keys, not that necessarily that big.
Linkin Park came back.
Linkin Park, Nine Inch Nails,
Lady
My
Gaga's
Chemical
this week.
Romance. For Lady Gaga, I want to go see Lady Gaga, but
those tickets are way too expensive.
And I did not know she was coming because she's not on my radar, but I'd love to go see that. Lumineers was at the fucking Soldier Field. That was like 5 days straight of like
Labor Day
shows.
Weekend was 6 shows in a row.
Beyonce was here for 3 fucking shows as well. Like this, especially here in Chicago, like it's been the year of massive fucking shows coming through Chicago, and we didn't go to all of them, but we hit up a decent number of them. And especially here in that summer stretch, there was always a big show. So getting back to something small like this at a venue that we somewhat enjoy outside of House of Blues, it was good. It was good to get back into it. And I just need this to re-kickstart my energy to get back into this. And as you said, there's a few shows coming up down the road that I'm super excited for. Yeah,
especially at the end of the month. There's a couple shows that I'm really, really excited for. So.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, the only other, the biggest positive and biggest takeaway for me for this particular show is I finally got a Mudvayne shirt with dates on the back.
Yeah.
The first year we saw them was 2022 at Upheaval.
Upheaval, yeah.
That was like their first time back around. And, they were that band that I never got to see growing up that I was super happy to see and experience live. And we had a seat from the top of the hill because Avatar was playing or some shit like that. Like we didn't want to go down the hill.
Yeah, we got rail for Avatar and I didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
we also had COVID. We didn't know it at that time.
The next day we had COVID real hard.
Yeah, but like that day I was starting to feel like that. I thought it was allergies so bad. But anyways, we've talked about that so many times. And since we had rail, I was like, I don't want to leave. I want to be on rail. Like, we are huge Avatar fans. Back then I was even more of an Avatar fan than I am today. But yeah, I just didn't want to leave.
Yeah, and that shirt they got, I was hoping it was a special shirt, but it wasn't. It was just a normal Mudvayne shirt. Like, fuck it, whatever. I don't have one. I want a Mudvayne shirt. I think I had one back in high school, and I got rid of it.
Yeah, we got rid of
when I got rid of all my shirts back in the day. So that was a little disappointing. So I wanted to get a new one. Got it. It didn't have a date or anything, because I think that was like their only show they played in 2022.
Oh, was it?
If not, it was like one of 4, or something like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Any case, whatever. They came back around last year, and we saw them at the rave. And we got the LD50 shirt. And on the back, I was like, holy shit, they have all the dates on the back, because they weren't playing that many then either. So there was only just a handful of dates on there and like a little date stamp next to it. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll get that. It wasn't until I got back to the hotel that I noticed, oh, those are the album titles and the length of the song. So I didn't look that close. It just looked like it was dates and cities and dates and whatnot. But this one finally has the dates on the back. The dates at it.
Talking about that upheaval show, so the shirt that you got and the background were where the 2 skulls, which is like a devil and a Jesus,
angel,
I
guess Jesus, because they had the crown of thorns.
The crown, the thorns, that's what I take it as. So that was like the display for that show, and I can't remember at the rave like what it was. If
I
it was
assume
similar.
It was that as well.
I was wondering, and then this one was the same as well.
Yeah, and
in my mind, I'm like, why didn't you do something LD50 related, or like have a background made like the album cover or something like that? Like, I don't know. The shirt does have like, it's kind of similar or whatever that you got, but I don't know. That was one thought that I had when they took the stage, is that was the background.
I guess also thinking about that a little bit, sort of leaning into the LD50, I was wondering if they were all going to come out with face paint on like they did for LD50, and I can't remember for this show. I couldn't really see, honestly, if they all had face paint on or not, but I think Chad definitely had face paint on for...
Chad did, and the guitarist did.
Okay.
But the bassist, I'm not sure. And then there was the guitar in the back, but I think that was probably fill-in guitar.
Probably. I can't remember for sure if they wore their face paint or not. I'm pretty sure for the Milwaukee show, they did not wear their face paint at all, except for Greg, who did have sort of that spiky hair sort of thing. I do remember that, and had the face paint on.
Yes,
I think he was the only one at the Milwaukee show that had the face paint.
Do you want, and this, it was because of the crowd, not in a bad way, but like, I don't remember watching the show in Milwaukee, because we were right next to the pit.
Right.
So we were watching the pit more. I was watching the pit more than I was watching the stage. So honestly, I don't remember. I remember what was happening in the crowd, and I can picture that, but I cannot picture the stage at all. And I think that's why I can't even picture the background.
Right. I think you're right, though. It was that same sort of standard background that they've had for a while, that basic art, which is a sick art. I love it. Don't get me wrong, with like the demon and the angel, or the demon and...
I like it too.
Satan, but like Satan and Jesus sort of popping up together.
Like the devil.
Or what's the devil's son's name?
Lucifer?
No.
I don't know.
Lucifer is the devil. I don't know. Little Nicky. I remember that Adam Sandler movie. He's supposed to be the son of the devil or some shit. Yeah. Anywho.
I don't know how all that.
I don't know the name. The Antichrist. Damien. But that's from The Omen. See, I don't know if that's canon. And by canon, I mean Bible. Canon to the Bible. But yeah, anyway, for me, it was just sort of an off night for whatever reason it was. Hopefully, I get back into the groove of things. And I don't know. Maybe I was just freaking out about my health. I don't know. You need to go to the doctor.
You've been doing that a lot lately.
This has been
midlife crisis.
I think so. I don't want to die, and I feel like I'm going to die. So I don't know. Any case, it was still a good time. Don't get me wrong. It was a
good show, yeah.
And again, for like $35, I guess it was
55 or whatever after the fees.
Yeah, after the fees or whatnot. It's very good price for this show that the show was. And even though I was sort of not in the mood, and it sounded like Chad was sort of down a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is what live music does. It brings you together, helps you lift you up during your down down moments, and it truly did feel like Chad was lifted up a little bit that night. And hopefully things good. Hopefully the band's doing well. Hopefully Greg is getting by with the best he can, and his family and everything. So
yeah, I don't know how that works, or how that people do that, but
yeah, I've never had to go through something like that, so I can't I mean, I can empathize, but at the same time,
yeah, you don't know what it's like. Yeah,
don't know what you feel like. I don't know the pain you're going through. So, much love to him, to the band, to their family, their crew, everybody. It was an awesome show.
Yeah,
they came out during a difficult time of their lives, and you know what? They put on a killer show and made everybody in that room fucking happy, including themselves. So
yeah, hopefully Milwaukee goes good. Hopefully the rest of the tour goes good.
Right. So great on them. Thanks for showing up and for putting on a killer show and making us happy. So that's the power of live music. And yeah, I don't know. Get out there and check out some live music.
Bye.